Hey, welcome. So today, we're going to do a little checkup. We're going to ask a question that might be a little uncomfortable. Are we, without even knowing it, holding ourselves back? We're going to look at 4 signs of a closed mindset. And this is all based on some really sharp insights from the creator, Chad Tag.
So let's just get right to it. Are you your own worst enemy? It's a heavy question, I know. But if we're not honest with ourselves, how can we ever expect to grow? This is step 1.
The creator behind these ideas, Chad Tag, puts it pretty bluntly. He says that if you see someone stuck in these patterns and you do nothing, you're committing a sin. So this isn't about judging anyone, it's about helping each other get unstuck. Think of it as looking out for each other. So what is this word we're using, Bhondu? Well, it's pretty simple. It describes someone who just fights against new information. They're resistant to change. You could present them with all the facts in the world and they'll still cling to what they already believe. It's like their mind is a closed door.
And here's why this whole take is so powerful. The creator himself admits, I was also a Bhondu. That changes everything, right? This isn't someone on a high horse pointing fingers. This is someone saying, hey, I've been there. I know what it's like, and I know we can get out of it. It's about a shared struggle.
Okay, let's dive into the first sign. And this one is probably the most common. We've all felt it. It's that knee-jerk reaction of getting offended by criticism, even when it's constructive, even when it's designed to help you.
And you can see there's a huge fork in the road here. A progressive person, when they get feedback, their curiosity kicks in. They'll say, is that true? Let me look into that. But a Bhondu, the walls go up instantly. The ego takes over, and that's it. Conversation over, zero chance to learn anything.
This example just illustrates the point perfectly. Look, valid criticism is a friend telling you, hey, you're burning your ghee. You're destroying all the good stuff in it. That's helpful. Invalid criticism is someone saying, ugh, your hairstyle's awful. One is a fact-based observation to help you, the other is just a mean opinion.
Now, that defensiveness, it often doesn't just stop there. It can escalate into something much more aggressive, and that brings us right to our second sign, lashing out and getting abusive when you're proven wrong.
It's a predictable but destructive pattern. When you're cornered by facts, when the logic is undeniable and it proves your belief is wrong, the reaction isn't, oh wow, I didn't know that. Nope, it's to attack, to insult the person who brought you the information.
I absolutely love this treadmill analogy from the source. Think about it. Life, knowledge, the world, it's all moving forward like a treadmill. If you just decide to stand still and not learn or adapt, you're not actually staying in place. The belt is moving under you. You're actively going backward.
And we see this play out all the time, especially online. Someone gets furious at a fitness YouTuber for suggesting they need more protein. Or they get mad at the person who shares a report that, yeah, our fruits and veggies have pesticides on them. In both cases, they're shooting the messenger because they don't like the message.
All right, on to sign number 3. This is a classic tactic people use to completely derail a logical argument. It's all about making a conversation about feelings instead of facts.
So let's just take a beat here and ask ourselves this, honestly. When someone challenges something you've believed for a long time, what's your first instinct? Do you reach for facts to support your view, or do you reach for emotion?
And that's really the core difference here. A good, healthy debate is built on logic and evidence. But when someone decides to play the emotional card, they're not trying to build anything. They're trying to shut the whole conversation down so they don't have to admit they might be wrong.
And these are the go-to trump cards, right? Instead of dealing with the actual point of the argument, suddenly it's about patriotism, or poverty, or someone's personal struggles. It's a clever move, because it makes the other person look like a monster if they try to bring it back to the facts.
This story from the source is just a wild and perfect example. Apparently, some people trying to join the army would get bees to sting their heads, causing swelling that would make them just tall enough to pass the height requirement. When this was called out as fraud, the defense wasn't logical, it was emotional. But they're patriots, they just want to serve. That completely ignores the fact that it's still cheating and it takes a spot from someone who actually qualifies.
So when logic has failed and emotional arguments don't work, there's often one last line of defense. And that's our fourth and final sign, blaming other people for your own problems and frustrations. I mean, how many creators have gotten a comment just like this? It's taking a massive, complex issue like poverty and just dumping all that frustration onto a single person making a video. It's a way to feel like you're doing something without actually having to do anything.
Oh, and this one. This is a big one. It's such an easy way to dismiss someone's success. It completely ignores their hard work, their sacrifices, their talent, and boils it all down to one thing they couldn't control. It makes you feel better about where you are, because their success wasn't real.
So what is really going on here deep down? The source argues that it often boils down to one simple, powerful emotion: jealousy. But jealousy is ugly, and we don't like to admit we feel it. So we dress it up as something else, as righteous anger or social justice, and we find someone else to blame for our own dissatisfaction.
Okay, we've laid out the 4 signs. We've seen what this closed-off mindset looks like in the wild. That's the diagnosis, which leads to the most important question of all: now what?
Look, the whole point of this was never to make anyone feel bad. It was just to hold up a mirror. Because you can't possibly fix a problem if you don't even know it's there. Real, honest-to-goodness progress can only start after you have that moment of real, honest-to-goodness self-awareness.
So, we're going to end with one last question. After hearing all this, which of these signs do you recognize in yourself? And remember, seeing it, admitting it, that's not a failure. That's the win. That's the first step.